Good evening. I think all the speakers stole what I was going to say. Instead, I'm going to start with how I got to where I am and how I got here, which for me started from the age of 6. I went through what I can only really describe as a midlife crisis. I was confused as to what I was supposed to do. My career choices, I had no idea. And this all happened because my father decided to take me to the cinema for the first time. And we sat in a really dimly lit theater, waiting for the curtains to open. And as we sat there waiting, which for me was the most important part, was the wait, I tried to figure out what was going on. We were all sat in a dark room with a load of other people, all facing the same direction, waiting for something to happen, much like all of you. And when it finally did, when the curtains did open, I was terrified like everyone else. I was shocked, scared, and excited by what we saw, because dinosaurs appeared on the screen and scared the crap out of me. And the film I went to see, something you probably all, a lot of you, I can imagine, have seen. We were all welcomed to Jurassic Park. And that film, for me, kind of accentuates and shows what I'm excited about film. It blew my mind. It was the first film I'd seen in the cinema. And it showed that an illusion could help tell a story and excite and make everyone enjoy themselves simultaneously with the people they were sharing this with. What it did is it excited me and my passion for film, and it made me ask the question, how? And 19 years later, I'm still really asking that question and trying to figure it out. Curiosity, for me, is integral to how I work. Without it, I can't be creative. Without it, a lot of you can't do what you end up doing. But unfortunately, I sometimes feel that curiosity is somewhat stifled. We find that when you end up asking a question, that sometimes you're shot down because perhaps it was too obvious. And this I sometimes feel is unfortunate. And there's also times when you may find that you don't end up asking a question out of fear of that happening. We all have the ability to inspire, and we all have the ability, which has all been on show tonight, that inspiration and curiosity is infectious. But for me, curiosity and creativity are my biggest allies. It's ended up leading me to where I am at the moment and shown me the job opportunities that I've had. I've had the wonderful experience to work with some amazingly creative and inventive people on some amazingly huge projects, some of which you may have heard of. I worked on Avatar, Warhorse, and Sherlock Holmes. These are just a few of some of the things that the people I work with have created, and a lot of them are sort of masters in their own field about what they do. Curiosity really aided me in creating that with the filmmakers I was with, because we had very little time to create something that showed quite an epic scale and a story, as well as showing the sort of scientific nature that we were trying to get across. And one of the things we needed to do was to create this sort of molecule effect that we were looking at. Now, the best way would have been to have a lot of money, a lot of scientists in a lab that we could have photographed this with. Instead, it was me at 4 in the morning, 2 days before the deadline, in my bedroom. And the way I did create it, this is what was photographed. This was from the camera. And what you see effectively are the larger sort of chromosome-looking items are, in fact, chocolate sprinkles. The items that float around that are mustard seeds and yeast extract, and it's all floating in a glass bowl made of liquid glycerin. And the liquid that's being sort of thrust out happened to be the chocolate cereal that I was eating at the time. Here, yeah. So that ended up being the final shot, and all filmed on a DSLR camera with its lens on backwards to give the macro effect, and then composited into a few of the shots. Another example of some of the work that we've done that involved us thinking a little bit differently was for a film that we made called Jolly. This is a bit of concept work called Steve Trumbull, and it was for a shot that isn't particularly drastic in nature. It's just a sort of above shot with a lamp in front of the lens, but it required us to think a little harder as we didn't really have a set. And we didn't really have much of a budget or time to create this. Here's the final shot in the film. And this was kind of achieved by us thinking more about how we were going to frame this. We couldn't have the camera up high with a lamp in front of it, so instead we thought about what the audience is seeing through the frame at the time. And what you're seeing is a lamp, a guy, a table, and some objects on it. So the way we ended up treating it was by effectively turning everything on its side. So the actor's on his knees with everything glued to the table, and we're looking down at him through the camera. These are just a couple of examples of how I feel that curiosity has helped me and has helped me tell stories and share these with people. It's something that makes me ask how. When I go and see a film, it excites me because it makes me ask how. It also makes me ask why and what if. And I'd like to leave you with another question. Instead of squashing curious minds, why not embrace and encourage the playfulness in ourselves and all of us? Thank you very much.